I just want to introduce a short video from the club legend, life member Ian Lyon, who can't be with us tonight because he's overseas. Usually when Ian is on a video, it's usually a video link in his courtroom, and he's terribly surprised that they left the cell camera on and he's tasering some poor perpetrator. But here he is with I think a 30-second clip.
G'day everyone. Apologies for not being really would love to. Unfortunately, I had to travel. Hope you're having a really good night. Great club, run by great people. It has been a huge part of my life since 1984, I think. Have a good night. All your winners, congratulations. I'll see you in pre-season.
Wonders of technology. I'll now call upon our esteemed president to give his president's report.
Welcome everybody. This is the first time I've worn my goggles tonight, so I can see this, and I can't really see you. Unless I take them off and then I can't see this. So I'm just going to sort of do a bit of winging it both ways. Tonight, President's report speech, I'm just going to try and keep it very short and sweet because there's far more important issues to get through tonight. And the Hall of Fame being that night, 12 inductees tonight, they really deserve a lot of the focus on them. So I'll keep it very tight so that we can move on to the major award winners and get through the Hall of Fame. So I believe that there's 165, possibly 167 people here tonight. I think that might be the biggest awards night that we've had in the club's history, and it looks amazing. The venue is fantastic. It's really great to see so many people filling all the tables. So thanks for putting your hand in your pockets and coming along tonight, and I hope you all have a fantastic evening as well. So just a quick summary on the club and where we're at and what we're going to be doing going forward. So the club is in a reasonably good, financially strong position. We would obviously like to have more money, but we're pretty good with managing what we've got, and we've slowly built the funds over the last 10, 12 years to get to a point where we can get in and out of the season, probably a couple of seasons ahead of what we've got coming up, knowing that we've got enough money to pay all our fees, that ground hire, getting our uniforms and bits and pieces like that. So we're in a good financially strong position. A lot of that is due to maintaining some really good sponsorships. Obviously the APL, we've got some sponsors here tonight from the club, players like Daffy, Regal Engineering, my company PM, and Barrett over there. I forget his business's name. What is it now? It's Lyons Unlimited. So thanks to all the sponsors for their continued support. It certainly does help the club. So the most important thing I think for the players that are currently playing at the moment is the facilities and our access to turf training. I think I've stood up here for the last 10 years as president, telling you that we're working on it, we're going to do something, we've got something in the pipeline, and the wheel has been very slow to move forward. I can tell you tonight that we have made some progress. We've got some guaranteed progress, which is something that we haven't had at all in the past. So we will have next season every second Tuesday there will be a single wicket made available to the guys for turf training. That's a start. Last season we did hire from Melville Premier Cricket the use of their turf nets on a regular Wednesday basis, and that's something that we'll keep up our sleeves if we need it, and for the next season we probably will need it. But more importantly, I'd like to thank Patrice. Patrice put me in touch with our local member, Kim Giddens, and I had a chat with her when I met with her a couple of times, and she was instrumental in putting me in front of the federal Labor candidate and federal Liberal candidate for the coming election. The Liberal candidate and I haven't yet caught up, although we have had a couple of discussions over the phone about some potential funding. I have caught up with the Labor candidate, Sam Lynn, and they have guaranteed us that if there is an Albanese government, that we will be receiving some funding towards some turf nets. It's a significant amount of money. I'm pretty confident that the Liberal candidate, Ben Morton, will match the amount of money. It's not their money, it's a slush fund basically to grease the wheels and get votes. But there's a few things popped up during the week where we were due to meet and had to be cancelled. I have had a chat to them on the phone several times. It does sound like they are going to commit, although we officially don't have anything writing just yet. So I'm hoping I hope that comes off, because then it doesn't really matter to us which of the two major parties forms government, because we will then be receiving funding. No good having money if we don't have a location to put the nets. So I have been in discussion with the university for probably the last 4 years about where we could, if we could fund it ourselves, put some nets. They've agreed in principle, but they've actually agreed wholeheartedly that they will give us a location to put the turf nets. It's down to 2 locations, and one is up by the curator shed near the current nets, and the other one will be relocating them onto the west side of the clubhouse, down on the ground near the west wicket, which will potentially end up meaning that they will also relocate the hard wickets, and our training centre will basically be off to the other side rather than at the top. So that is definitely going to be approved by the university for location. I'm just hoping that we can get both of the political parties to commit, and then we will be able to have ourselves finally some turf nets for practice. The turf nets themselves won't be something that happens instantaneously. They will take a while. I've had a few conversations with Green Solutions about how long they will take. If we had the money now, we could probably have enough money for next season. So it probably won't be this season that we'll get into our own turf nets. If it all goes ahead, it will be the following season. But on the back of that, we do have the Tuesday nights. We will maintain a relationship with Melville Premier Cricket, so turf facilities will gradually improve, and hopefully that keeps a lot of the top players that we have on occasion lost. We'll be able to now provide turf training, keeping at this wonderful club. That's it for me on my President's report. So I believe I'm just rolling straight into the most improved player, and we're going to shuffle through a few weeks and get them happy quickly. So tonight, the most improved player is Peter Koelewyn. This season, he was muscular. Personally, fantastic captain, very good captain, a really good playman, he's positive, he encourages everybody, he gives everybody a praise, but that's not about his captaincy in this player. So Pete, this year, in just the fixtured Saturday cricket, he registered 385 runs as the second Olympic skipper. I'll put these on my read this one to get it right, because I know he knows what his facts and figures are. So he averaged 35 and 385 runs. He owned the number 3 position. He clearly was the best bat in the side. Very positive cricketer out on the field. He brought up his maiden century, which was 113 not out. Against High Wicket, look, that wasn't the best wicket to be playing cricket on. So he batted well. He batted all day. He actually had a very good partnership with Slogo. He's on the same table, I think, or table in front. But he had an uncanny knack of bringing himself on the ball at the tug. He picked up very, very early 16 wickets at 14.1. Best of those 4 for 14. But if you've got a number 3 bat who's averaging 35 and he's also taking wickets, fantastic player to have in your side. He's worthy of first 11 cricket. He knows that. He likes to be skipper. He's the second 11 skipper, very good skipper. Enjoys playing with him. If we take into account his T20 cricket season, staggering 563 runs, 35.2, 30 wickets, and 11.7. very worthy candidate, most of whom proved by Brody Koelewyn.
The only thing I'll say is, when I got called out, Brody said it's only because of how shit you were before. Thanks, boys.
So I'll call on Wayne Giles to announce the Wayne Giles Rising Star.
I'd like to welcome to everyone here tonight. It's an incredible night. When I started a long while ago, I was 16, probably 40 years ago. Here we are tonight, this amazing venue. In the old days, it was, I think, Mr. Moore, it was one of the early venues for our wine. I've certainly come a long way. So, it gives me great pleasure to introduce, or award this award, to the Rising Star. So, this young guy was playing his first year at the club. Very young guy, also playing at the same time in the junior district club, the Melville. So just 14 years of age. And he follows in the footsteps of his older brother to the club, and in this time he's proven to be a very handy but aggressive middle-order batsman as a 14-year-old. Pretty amazing. So this season he debuted in the third 11 in the first round of the season and made 33 runs and was promptly promoted to the second 11, which is again, as a 14-year-old playing the second 11 is a phenomenal effort. In his first game, he made 33 runs off just 17 balls. Again, emphasising the fact he's a very aggressive middle-order batsman. He played 9 matches for 8 innings, scored 150 runs, and averaging 25. In his 8 innings, he reached double figures on 6 occasions. So clearly very talented and confident young batsman for the club, and we're hoping he might stay around. So these young guys have got so much ability to end up playing the club for the Melville way. So hopefully this young guy might stay at the club in future years and hang around like his brother has. Be a great asset to the club. So the winner of the 2021-22 Wayne Giles Rising Star Award is Ben Howell.
I'd just like to thank everyone at the club who's made me feel welcome this year and looking forward to a good season next year.
So you heard it here first, that's a guarantee from Ben that he will be playing for us next year. Well done. I'd like to call on Brad Downey to announce the prestigious Clubman of the Year award.
It's not very often that a club has back-to-back winners of the Clubperson of the Year, and this year is no exception to that. This season's Clubperson of the Year, that's for you, Miguel. This season's Clubperson of the Year has been an integral member of the club since not long after they began playing in 2008-09. Fairly new to the game at a competitive level, they would hone their skills and work their way up, and would take only 3 seasons at the club before they became a staple part of second 11 and then first 11 sides. They would put their hand up for their first captaincy role in 2015-16, being awarded the captaincy of the second 11, and also volunteer for their first season on the committee and manage the club's Colts team. They would have immediate success with a premiership win that season. They would serve a second year on the committee in 2016-17, before moving from the committee to the selection table in 2017-18. They would volunteer on the committee and also chair the selection committee, as well as be selected as club captain in 2018-19, 2019-20. After a year away from off-field duties last season, they will return this season to serve both on the committee and as the chair of the selection committee again. And as someone who was involved in those processes, this season that was no mean feat. The pandemic hangover season was set to be a challenging one for the club from the outset, despite the draw card of being the club's 50th anniversary season. Pandemic fatigue seemed to have greatly affected player availability, to the point where the club was required to drop a side. But even then, the availability through the first half of the season was very grim. As essentially the only selector for the club, this person spent vast amounts of time in the middle stages of each week trying to convince all and sundry to fill the remaining spots in the club's sides, some weeks facing the stark reality of only 3 or 4 willingly available players in OD4. And then again, in the latter stages of the week, replacing players who had pulled out at the last minute. But through tireless efforts, they managed to coerce enough players out of retirements, breaks, or from lack of motivation to take the field for the club and managed to avoid even a single forfeit for the season. Not only did they manage to fill that OD side every week, they managed to fill them with enough talent to win a minor premiership, an outstanding effort. This person also provided captains with a sounding board at frequent occasions throughout the season, discussing everything from team balance to game strategy to offer a valuable service to captains. He continues to set the standard on the training track, being a regular attendee and always working hard on all facets of their game. He was always willing to make sure players got to get as many balls as they felt they needed. Perhaps the greatest example of clubmanship, however, was their desire to push through pain barriers and take the field despite injury. Everyone at the club hopes to see him fit and firing at training in September. It is with absolute pleasure that I present the Clubperson of the Year award to Jason Giles.
Yeah, look, I don't know what to say, honestly. Despite PK pioneering for this for about 6 months, I was not expecting it, so yeah, bear with me, I'll try and put some words together. Firstly, to everybody that I texted in this room on a Friday afternoon begging to play, I'm sorry. Thank you to most of you for saying yes. Thanks to my wife Karen for allowing me to be selector, because it takes up a bit of time. I already give up on Saturday to play cricket, and I know it pisses her off a little bit when I talk about cricket, so thanks babe. I just want to say, I think Brad rattled off a little bit about when I started on the committee, I think 15-16. The year before that, I was meant to be playing in the grand final and I didn't play. People will remember the story, etc., etc. The truth was I wasn't good enough to play. I didn't deserve to play in any of the grand finals in that year. I was rightfully dropped. But at the time I didn't think like that. I was pretty pissed off. And I was ready to give up on cricket. It's like, I'll go play footy, I'm better at that anyway, I'm pretty shit at cricket, so don't worry about it. And after the selections were announced and I wasn't playing, Ruley, Chad, I remember Chad's here, and Hilling just pulled me aside and said, mate, you're a good bloke, don't worry about it. We stayed at the club until security kicked us out and had a few beers, probably a few too many. But it was then I knew that that's what this club's about, man. It's not about catches, wickets, runs, all that stuff's awesome, but it's actually about just having beers with your mates. So the next year I signed up to be a captain, mainly so no one can drop me from the grand final. And went on the committee and the rest is history, so thanks guys, I really appreciate it.
service very, very shortly. So we'll play some music, and you will gradually have the staff come around and let you know when your table can go and grab your food. So if you just wait and then line up in an orderly fashion when you're summoned, that would be fantastic. In the meantime, we'll go back to Rawley's playlist, which is music to kill hookers by. So we're going to move on to a very prestigious award. I mean, there's a lot of talk about Clubman of the Year and World Cricketer of the Year and this fancy President's Award. But really, we all know where the big one is, and that's the Daffy Duck. So I'm going to call our reigning Daffy Duck winner, Errol, to the podium to present this award to the must surely be a really good winner.
Thank you, everyone. As you can understand, I have a very close affinity to this award, even though somehow my name isn't attached to it. You may ask yourself how the winner managed this achievement without coming to training once this season. But I can reveal that he was doing his own personal coaching program with legendary New Zealand player Chris Martin. And just in case you don't know who Chris is, he played 71 tests for New Zealand and he scored 123 runs in his entire career. You certainly taught me a lot about that, I don't know about you. Anyway, this person is the first time winner of this award, but he's in fact the second person in his family to take out the award, which is a first. He's equal third on the list of all-time ducks, along with myself. So he's no stranger to making a globe. This year he managed to get 4 ducks during Saturday games, which was a tie with Luke Gray-Wiley. But he also made an extra 2 ducks during T20 games, which were enough to win the award on comeback. So congratulations to Dave Sammut.
Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, well, what an honour. I mean, to receive it from such a purveyor of mediocrity as someone, you know, it's hard to put it into words, and also to have another fine Daffy Duck Award winner here in the room in Waffy Zainal, and I pause for a reason. If I say it fast, it's a problem. Waffy gave an outstanding speech when he won the award some years ago. Everybody appreciates Waffy Zainal. Waffy Zainal is enjoyed by all when he gives speeches. So if you go back, a 15-year-old starry-eyed boy joins the club and he sees guys like Russell Carrar, Jeff Merckx, Kevin Collins, thinks perhaps one day that could be me. And I really tried. And year after year I watched it pass me by. And I thought, I know what I'll do, I'll get myself in the top grade. But the only way to get in the top grade, because I was shit, was to captain. So I got the captaincy of top grade. I thought, I'll open. Surely this is my year. And still I couldn't get it. But now in my advancing days, 32 years at the club, here I am. Mum and Dad, I did it. Now the other novelty award is the Gary Gutterball Award for the guy who gets hit for the furthest 6. Unfortunately, he's not here tonight. But getting hit for a 6 against South Perth, it went 94 metres, Now, a bit harsh on this guy because South Perth did drop a guy down to their 6th grade who had played over 150 games in back the 1st grade. His brother played 19 tests for England. So he was digging us all around the ground. But John Mulholland is the recipient of the Gary Gutterball. He's not here tonight, but I'm sure he'd be very proud if he was. We're going to race through because obviously we've got the Hall of Fame to do and we're aware that there's a lot of socialising that needs to be done. We're not going to go through the traditional come up and get your trophies sort of thing. That will be over there in due course, but we'll name who won what and who achieved what throughout the season. So there were 2 guys who won association awards and they were Brody Koelewyn for first grade and Peter Canelli, who was the 3rd grade champion cricketer. Peter Canelli is the Rapunzel of the cricket club, not because of his flair, but because he lets down his teammates. There were some milestones also throughout the season. Playing the 100 game was Nick Bonner and Brady Lockdale, so welcome to the 100 game club. The 150 games, Luke Martin, who's not here with us tonight. 200 games, now we're getting some rarefied air. Nick Gord, Errol and Peter Great Brockman. 1,000 runs, Jared G and Andy not here tonight. Look, I don't know if I should really read this one out because Darren did take over 20 years to score these 1,000 runs. It's 1,000 runs nonetheless. And I bet he wishes that that 6 that he did off Nick in the testimonial match counted towards it. 2,000 runs. Henry Smith, Josh Montgomery and Ben Menzies. Getting really serious now at 3,000 runs is Brody Koelewyn, Steve Rule and Jeff Holland. 100 wickets is Pascal Manley and Danny Lake. Uh, 200 wickets, Peter Canelli, and then yeah, you'll notice, look, Steve Rule 400 wickets, I like how he's put himself on the same slide as the guy who was 900 wickets, because clearly they're on par. Well done, David. 150 dismissals was Phil Featherbucket Stansmore, and in 300 dismissals we've got Steve Gorbley, and then we've got the guy who holds the record for the longest time to go from his 299th dismissal to his 300th. I believe it was somewhere in the vicinity of 10 years, because the turncoat went to play for Baldivis, and then when they had a bye, we got him in to try to gift him a dismissal. I was against it, but overruled. So he comes in and he gets his 300th dismissal. Had he stayed at the club and not stitched us all in the back, he probably would lead the dismissal tally for the club, but you don't. You don't, do you? There you go! I don't want to talk about it, maybe I do. We'll move on to the grade awards. Again, we'll just name them. So, 1-day Division 4. Kindly ruling is not put batting, bowling, fielding, but I'll work it out for myself. Danny Lake, 284 runs at 71 with the batting award. He also took out, this is not 84. Also took out the bowling award at 11 wickets at 10.2, so someone's clearly sandbagging. Danny Lane, not the brightest of guys at the club. He thinks the space at an Nando's between the front and the back door is the peri-perineum. Phil Stansmore took out the fielding award, and then moving on to 6th grade. This is adorable. Wayne winning his first batting award. This must be so special for you, Wayne. 290 runs, an average of 29, and then this classic photo in the middle. That is not Simba, that is Mohammed Abbasi, 13 wickets for 32.15, and Steve Gorbley taking out fielding. 5th grade, Josh Robin with the batting, 280 runs at 46. Dave Wright with yet another bowling award. I haven't marked down how many that is, but knowing Dave Wright, you'll probably remember. How many is it, Dave? False modesty. He knows. He knows, he carries it around when he speaks to the ladies, out comes the card. And then we've got, that is not one half of the Righteous Brothers, that is Tristan Emery. Clearly, judging by that photo, he has not lost that loving feeling. He's won the fielding award. Third grade, Henry Smeagol Smith with the batting, 239 at 47.8. Jeff Monty, the bowling, a ridiculous average of 7.6 for his lovely little pie chuckers, 15 wickets. Brad Downing, another fielding award for third grade, and then we move on to first grade. I've got here first grade premiership recap, and Ruley has put that in. I wonder why Steve Rule wants a recap of this match that was abandoned. This was the club's 61st flag. It was first grade's one-day final. We batted first, scored 143, and someone top scored with 59. I think it's S. Rule. Oh, makes sense now. Makes sense now. So there's our recap for you, Rule, on the first grade premiership. Josh Montgomery won the batting award, 418 and 46.4. Brody Koelewyn, hit more, another trophy for the cabinet, 24 wickets at 12.4, well done. And then we have the Rod Sammut Fielding Award. Those of you who were here in the 90s will know that in the 90s, 71% of the Earth's surface was covered by water, the other 29% by Rod Sammut. So winning the Rod Sammut Fielding Award for first grade is Adam Shaw. Noting some good performances. Again, no trophies in the name. The century makers this season were Henry Smith, Peter Kennelly, Braden Waltdale, Josh Groban, Danny Lake, Tom Lewis and Phil Stanshall. There were 5 dismissals in a match to Jason Giles. The next one's going to be very popular. 7 wickets to a young up-and-comer called Julio Mosca. And there was a hat-trick to Steve Lewis. Is that your second hat-trick, Steve? Right. No, it's not a second hat-trick. 2 5-wicket hauls to Jeff Ponting, Darren Wilson, and singles to Brody Koelewyn, Luke Ray-Wiley, Ben Wilson, Ian Lyon, Simba, Daffy Lake, Wappy's Errol, and Peter Kennelly. And now we move on to a rather large part of the evening, which is our Hall of Fame, where we announce our team of the half century. So just being with us while we prepare for that one, I'll put my Daffy Duck award just there. So there was a selection committee and the discussions were robust. As you can imagine, 1,491 players had to be discussed. So it was entertaining to say the least as we slummed it at Barry Chesson's Peppermint Grove vote. But I guess you don't really know. If we don't have it, we're in trouble. Maybe. So what we did was we decided to announce them at random, because if we announce them in batting order, then it becomes pretty obvious who's missed out and who's made it. If we do it alphabetically, it also becomes obvious who's missed out and who's made it. So it will be random, with the exception of the captain of the team of the half century. All the others were pulled out of the hat. And what I will be asking these guys to do is, when they're called out, to come forward, stand up here. They'll be given their pin by the previous recipient. The first one will be given out by President Nick Gord. And the first player, I know this is going to come as a shock to all of you. The first player is Wayne Giles. I was told to do a 1-minute introduction for Wayne Giles, but just reading out Wayne's achievements would take most of the evening. Wayne is one of the most respected players in the association. And when he arrives at your ground, it's like watching Michael Jordan arrive. It's like he's walking on water and there's an aura about him. And everyone walks 2 feet taller and you start with a 50-run head start. That's what you want me to say, mate? I remember there's a game out of Bedford Wally and a young fellow was getting stuck in the way while he was batting, and the captain said to him, "Shut the fuck up. This guy scored more runs than you ever will." And that just sums up the regard he's held in by the association. He debuted in 1981-82. He's got 462 games, an amazing over 27,000 most valuable player points, 14,354 runs, which obviously is a club record, at 30.2 in 19 centuries, again a club record, 75 half centuries, with a high score of 200 not out, 7 club partnership records, which is a club record, 1 association partnership record, 333 wickets, which is 12 all time, 85 wicket hauls with the best bowling of 6 for 17, 366 dismissals even though he spent so much time bowling, 12 premierships, 1 Errol Miguel Cricketer of the Year award, 5 Chesson President's Trophies, which is a club record, no surprise there, 4 association batting awards, 16 club batting awards, club record, 2 association fielding awards, that's back in the day where you actually did get association fielding awards, sometime in the late 1800s. When Colin McArthur was retiring his first time around. And he's also has 5 club fielding awards. So, well done, Lane. First recipient and captain. And I'll now call upon Ralph Sumley to announce the next recipient.
Okay, the second inductee to the Hall of Fame is a right-arm seam bowler. He was selected in both the team of the 1980s and the 1990s. He's won the Barrett Chesson's President's Trophy twice and accumulated 12 bowling and 3 batting awards during his career at the club, which began in 1982-83. During that time, he's played a club record of 476 games, and he's second on the all-time wicket list with 759 victims. He's a 9-time premiership player. Perhaps his finest moment was in the 2008-9 grade one-day final, where he took 4 for 18, managed 2 dismissals and steered the side home to victory from a very difficult position with 55 not out. He's one of the true gentlemen of Murdoch University Melville Cricket Club. Congratulations to Colin McArthur.
Chesson handed me a rock, which was actually a cricket ball, and I said, "What do I do with this?" And he said, "Well, you believe that you're a fast bowler," and I hadn't had any record at all as far as fast bowling was concerned, and so I pretended in the next how many games was it? 476 games. I've actually been a bowler of note, and I've been lucky on a few occasions, but I played with many lovely people and some decent people, and this club is in my heart and soul. I respect all the people that I've played with in that time, except for Dave. And I love the club, and whilst I haven't quite donated my ashes yet, but I'm sure it might add to a little bit of the colour of the pitch. But lovely club, and thank you so much. Cheers.
So I think number 3 on the list is Steve Williams. Steve was an elegant and classical batsman from an era that did not include rank shots or reverse sweeps. He joined the club in the 1977-78 season, so he goes back a long way there, and he won consecutive first 11 batting awards in that year in the Foreign League. At that time, he also won back-to-back Errol Miguel Cricketer of the Year awards. Steve would go on to win 2 more first 11 batting awards in the 80s and be regarded as the club's premier batsman for some years. He finally racked up a total of 7 batting awards by the time his 251-game career came to an end. While playing in the first 11, he managed 3 association batting awards, so that's the top level in the whole association, and he won 2 association fielding awards, so he was good in those 2 areas. In total, he accumulated 6,446 runs, which puts him 4th on the club's list of all-time run scorers. So please congratulate Steve. We'll just move on then. The next one to be inducted to the Hall of Fame is again somebody that was dominant in the club for a long period of time. It is none other than Bruno Serra. Bruno, just saying a few words there. Bruno's long career with the club began in 1975-76. When he was in his mid-teens, he was introduced to the club by the way by Gary Shanahan, who we're super pleased to see here tonight. Bruno ended up playing 342 games in an era where only 2-day games were played. So that's an awful lot of Saturdays committed to the club. He quickly moved into the first 11 where he flourished with the clubs. He was extremely reliable behind the stumps, adept at coming up to the stumps, or also going back from the stumps. He accumulated 439 dismissals, this being a club record until very recently. Over his career, he accumulated 7,560 runs, which puts him on the 3rd on the club's list of all-time run scorers. He has 2 association batting awards and 2 association fielding awards. He's got 5 club batting awards and a club fielding award. So Bruno's credentials as a genuine wicket-keeper batsman are undoubted. Thanks very much and congratulations. To the recipients, obviously, you are more than welcome to say a few words, and it's in fact encouraged. Next, I will ask our Clubman of the Year, Jason Bowles, to come up and
Yes, I wear glasses, aren't I? Alright, I've got a very special privilege tonight to introduce the next 2 members of the Hall of Fame. Both amazing cricketers who I've got to share the field with over the past decade and witness their talent firsthand. So the first one, 5th inductee, the only overseas player to make it into the Hall of Fame, though he is absolutely one of us now. Though he's been on overseas, he spent some time working FIFO, living regionally, has meant his games played are a lot lower than a lot of the people that are up here at the moment. His impact, you'll be struggling to find someone that's made as much of an impact on the field in terms of performance. This guy is everything you want in a cricketer. He bowls gas, he opens the batting, hits big sixes, he's the best fielder I've ever seen as long as he stays away from slips. And to top it off, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. His stats, he debuted in 2015-16, 58 games, 1,735 runs, an average of 32, most of those opening the batting, 4 centuries, 9 50s, a high score of 143, 4 club record batting partnerships, 82 wickets, an average of 17, 3 5-wicket hauls, best bowling of 5 for 48, 1 club bowling award and 1 association bowling award, and more importantly, a whole bunch of batsmen's soiled underwear. He became the first and is still the only person in the club's history to win the Association Chairman's Medal for the best player in first grade in 2016 and 17, and then just decided to back it up for good measure and do it again in 17-18. He's got 2 Errol McGraw Cricketer of the Year awards and 1 Barry Chesson President's Trophy, 3 pretty decent seasons for us. But while the stats are impressive, what is far more impressive about this bloke is he's just a winner. If anybody here that's played with him knows this guy just gets the job done no matter what. And that's why he was a massive reason why our first grade won the 2-day, 1-day and T20 flags in 15-16. And the best part about all of this is he's back, baby. Thank you, Chantel, for bringing him back to us. 5th inductee is Will Barrett.
Firstly, thanks very much, everyone, for being here tonight. It's been a while since I've actually been back to England. I first came here in 15-16, like you said, and I've only actually been back once. Made Australia, Perth, my home. Big thanks to everyone who I met along the way, especially like Steve, put me up in the first couple of years. Gus, over here somewhere, pretty good mates, and then followed you up to Broome, everything like that. So everyone in the first team, and especially the committee, make me a big part of the club, and I think it's been great. And especially my wife back there. She's been great along the way, and been called Aussie Baz for a long time, but actually on the 30th of May, I officially become Aussie Baz. So, you guys stuck with me for a long time, so have a good evening. Thank you.
Alright, number 6. This guy, one of the most damaging batsmen I've ever seen play the game. He made his debut for the club in 2011-12, took the association by storm, hitting a club record for first 11 runs in a season of 617 and an average of 51.5. That netted him the association's Paul Pierce Medal for the best player in second grade. He then broke his own record the very next year, making 733 runs, an incredible average of 81.4. I think I've only made more than 81 once, so average that, what I make. And on that year, he helped us win the first 11 flag, put us back into first grade, and we've remained there ever since. He was the mainstay of our ones batting lineup for several more seasons, polling on more important hundreds, the most impressive of which was his highest one, first 11 club record at the time of 186, which was also an association record, first wicket partnership with Henry. 274, and he was also a huge part of the aforementioned ones triple crown in 2015-16. His stats: 90 games, 3,758 runs, which is 19th all time, average of 43.7, a whopping 12 centuries, which is second all time to the GOAT Giles up here, 1850s, high score, as I mentioned before, 186. 6 club record batting partnerships, 1 association record partnership. His best bowling was 3 for 10. That can't be right. But 23 wickets at 20. 73 dismissals, mainly a slip. 4 premierships to his name, 2 Errol Miguel Cricketer of the Years, 7 club batting awards, which is also second all time to Giles. On top of all the batting accolades, Scott was actually incredibly humble. I had the pleasure of playing with him for a few years. He helped me to become the keeper I am by giving me a bucket load of throws off the orange ramp, even though every 5th one was a wacky softball throw that nearly knocked my head off. His performances literally grabbed his club by the scruff of the neck and took us from 2nd grade, where we were struggling a bit, to the dominant force we are today. It's awesome to see him here tonight. Hopefully all my sucking up in this speech is going to get him to come back and play for us full time. 6th inductee, Marc Watkins.
Also to my beautiful wife Sarah, I finally mentioned you once. She told me to venue, but once, thank you for being there at the start of my journey with Melville. You're a big part of that. Also winning the club of the year back in 2015-16, back on this part of the boom. Thanks everyone. Cheers.
So my experience with Marc on the field, clearly I wasn't good enough to play first grade, was as an opponent after he joined the club, which will remain unnamed. But he played us in a grand final, semi-final, and he belted us to all parts of the ground. And he got to 88 and he just decided, I don't want to score 100 against my old club, and he just walked off the field. Just walked off the field, 88 in the final. Fuck you, Marc Watkins. And of course he scored 88 and they won, and then he went to the grand final, he scored 112 out of 180 and won the premiership for them. Yeah. I will now call up Nick Gort to present the next one.
Congratulations guys. Here's Mike. Really pleased for you all. I think I played with all of you except for Baz. I wasn't quite good enough to get in the first grade, so congratulations. Bruno was my first skipper, I believe, and Colin and Giles in the first year that I played, so so I have the next inductee, and unfortunately this person wasn't able to make it here tonight. He's a pretty modest player, doesn't like the limelight. But what I will tell you about Wright Sammut, right-handed bat, occasional bowler, outstanding fielder, wicket keeps. And wicket keeping is not something that he does all the time. He's very good at it, and he just fills in when we don't have one, and it's pretty handy. Wright debuted for the club in the 90-91 season. He's played 327 games at all time. He's amassed 9,744 runs. That's second, I believe, only to Wayne. Incredible batsman. Destroys the opposition once he gets going. His little whip shot. Everyone's opposition sides don't like to see him come out of the crease. They're very happy if he goes early. Occasionally he does, but most of the time he's out there batting for long periods of time. He's also taken 112 wickets, 3 5-wicket hauls. 10 centuries with the bat, high score of 221, which was in the grand final. Didn't quite get the partnership with Dave. 13 fielding awards, which is a club record. So while we have the first grade fielding award named after Rod. Rod's a true gentleman, absolutely nice guy. I don't think you'll find anyone say a bad word about Rod. Very quiet, humble. He's that humble, he doesn't even come into the change rooms. He rolls up, ready to go, put his little kit bag, puts it outside on the field, has his own little drinks container. You don't get pulled out of him. I have seen Wright angry on one occasion. I've seen also, I played a bit of cricket myself. The most insane bit of fielding I've ever seen in my life was this guy. He wasn't keeping, he was fielding at short extra cover, right under the batsman's nose. Playing Bedford Morley at the time. The batsman has hit one through the covers exceptionally hard. Wright's in close. Wright has slapped it back. He's hit him on the pads, ricocheted back. He slapped it with the other hand and ran him out. The guy stood there at the crease and just was in utter amazement. It was the most insane bit of fielding I've ever seen in my life. Wright has 20 years of being an absolute superstar in the sense that he was in the team of the decade for the 90s and in the 200s. So Wright Sammut, a true worthy member of the Hall of Fame, unfortunately he isn't here tonight.
So I'll now call on Peter Kennelly to announce the next two recipients, please.
One's got to be Brody.
It was a great honour to be asked to assist Dave and Barrett in selecting the first 12 MCC Hall of Famers, and it's just as big an honour to present the next two Hall of Famers. So, the 8th inductee into the Hall of Fame debuted in 2003-04 and has played 227 games to date and was a member of the club's inaugural First 11 Premiership team in 2008-09. He won the First 11 Bowling Award in 2008-09 and 2009-10 seasons, leading to being selected as a member of the 2000s Team of the Decade. In the 2010s, he cemented himself as a club First 11 stalwart, playing every one of his games in the First 11 and being selected again in the Team of the Decade for the 2010s. As a player, he's known as one of the most skillful bowlers the club's ever seen, taking 404 total wickets, with 376 of those being in First 11. The 376 First 11 wickets is the third highest total of any suburban turf cricketer since electronic records were kept, behind only David Shepherd and Brendan Day. Very handy with the bat, especially in recent years, where he's been the First 11 opening batsman. He's accumulated 3,077 runs, at an average of 20.8, with 10 half centuries, no centuries, and a high score of 98 player. He has a career total of 7 premierships, including all 5 of the club's First 11 premierships, where he's the only player to have done this. He's a 3-time Errol Cricketer of the Year, including winning the last 2 awards. And all of these amazing on-field achievements pale in comparison to the contributions he's made off the field to the club. The 8th inductee into the Hall of Fame is Stephen Bull.
Yes!
I'll make it quick. It's an honour to be up here with such esteemed company. A lot of these guys over the next 20 years will be trying to knock off their records, but they're not making it very easy. I'd like to thank everyone I've played with over the journey, especially the ones that have dragged us to wins, because I do love winning, and especially the ones that we've enjoyed premiership success with, because there's no better feeling than having years after a premiership win. So thanks very much.
Right, thanks.
So the 9th inductee into the Hall of Fame is particularly special for me to get to announce. I think someone yelled it out. He debuted in 2006-07 and he's since played 164 games, with 120 of those being in the First 11. He's one of the hardest working players in the club's history. He's been a mainstay of training over the past 10 years. And like Stephen, he was selected as a member of the Team of the Decade for the 2010s. He's a genuine gun, leg spinning all-rounder, boasting impressive stats of 3,056 runs and an average of 22.1, including 2 centuries and 12 half centuries, to go along with 248 wickets at an average of 17.6. He's a 2-time winner of the Barrett Chesson President Trophy and a 3-time recipient of the Errol Miguel Cricketer of the Year Award, winning 3 in a row, one of only 4 people to achieve this feat. He's the only MUMCC player to have received the association's Barry Parker Memorial Award for the best single performance in a season, for a game where he took 3 for 52 with the ball and hit the second highest first 11 individual score of 185, narrowly missing the record of Marc Watkins by 1 run. This innings was described by Phil Adams of Swan Valley as the worst innings he has ever seen. And he had 185 runs. This guy also contentiously won the under-17s Ardros Bowler of the Year over me because his dad was the coach. He's my best mate, and he's the 9th inductee into the Hall of Fame. It's Brody Koelewyn.
Next Hall of Fame inductees. I'm trying to drag this one out a bit. He's a right-handed batsman.
Is that all you've got?
1,017 runs, high score 45.
Darren Wilson.
128 dismissals. I'd like to think a lot of those were in slips off my bowling. 236 games, 658 wickets, 4th all-time, at an average of 13.8. He has an incredible amount of 5-wicket plus hauls, 38, best 8 for 22. 5 premierships, 3 Errol Miguel Cricketer of the Years, 1 Barry Chesson President's Trophy, 4 Association Bowling Awards, 12 Club Bowling Awards. My best friend. Best bowler I've ever played cricket with, a sensational player. Put him in finals, everyone calls, Freshy's going to go beast mode. I've never seen anybody play finals cricket as good as Darren Wilson.
Next up, Dave Sammut.
I get emotional, so all I can say is thank you. You've got to go close to the watch. From everyone who plays ODs all the way to first grade. Thanks. So thank you.
Okay, so it's my pleasure to announce the next inductee. My great regret with this player is that there's a generation of players at the club who didn't get to watch this guy back because he was phenomenal. And no doubt if he decided to play now, he still would be. I regard this guy and Wayne Giles as the 2 greatest batsmen to have ever played for the club. Now, obviously, I'm biased, I played with both of them and regard them as good mates, but the stats also back that up. This guy had so much time to play the ball. I remember a game in first 11 out at Miguel, and they had a particularly nasty fast bowler who was, to put it mildly, an absolute prick. And he had copped, Rod Sammut had hit him up onto the hill and he wasn't happy about it. Rod got out shortly after and Adrian Baker went into that. And he decided that instead of bowling at the crease, he would run straight through it, two metres further down the wicket and deliver his ball from there at Adrian Baker, who, as he does, bats without a helmet. Adrian just stood there, patted it back, and carried on, like nothing happened. When the game had finished, we were all talking about it. And Adrian said, "Oh, I thought one came on a bit quicker." And that was Adrian. It didn't matter who was bowling, he was just going to score runs. Wherever he wanted to on the field, he was going to score runs. His shots were majestic. They were... Wayne Giles playing a cover drive is orgasmic. Adrian Baker also. Cover drives, lofted, on drives, off drives, pull shots, hook shots, anything you want. No helmet, bowl as fast as you want, see you later. He taught me the subtle art of sledging whilst batting. And he was ruthless. And if you were an opposition player, he held you to account for your behaviour. I remember seeing him many times in the first 11, and I was fanboying watching him tell opposition players what was right and what was wrong and what they could and couldn't get away with. I remember a game out at Netherlands, at the top of the ladder, flying high, and our two English imports were huge and they came along. And then Rod Sammut came along and he was the size of a mountain. And then Adrian Baker, as he does, wearing a tank top, barrel chested. One opposition player said, "For fuck's sake, no wonder you're on top of the ladder, you're on fucking steroids." This guy debuted in 81-82, 189 games, 10,479 most valuable player points, 5,724 runs, average of 33.1, 9 centuries, 27 half centuries, highest score of 212 not out, and I do believe that was on the same day that Wayne Giles scored his 200. I think that same day Rod scored 208. Wayne Giles came back to the club, wanting to tell everyone about his 200. He had the third highest score that day. Adrian has one association partnership record, that is 232 with Wayne Giles in a grand final, which is obviously a winning grand final. I watched that match, and I watched Adrian gently push forward as he put balls onto the wall of the Tompkins Park clubhouse, some several kilometres away with a gentle prod. 107 wickets at 17.7, 2 5-wicket hauls with the best bowling of 6 for 32, 126 dismissals. If you ask Adrian, he was the greatest fielder the club's ever seen. 12 premierships, 1 Barrett Chesson President's Trophy, 6 club batting awards and 4 club fielding awards. Well done, Adrian.
Featured in 3 consecutive teams in the decade, being the 1990s, 2000s and 2010s. His extensive list of club awards includes 1 Barrett Chesson President's Trophy, 2 Errol Cricketer of the Year awards, 2 fielding awards and a club record 19 bowling awards. Since debuting in 1988-89, he's won 12 premierships to go with his 6 association bowling awards. He leads the all-time wicket-taking list of the club with 916 wickets, and he has his 395 games puts him 4th all-time on that list. His consistency in performance over his career is unparalleled, and he's still got plenty left in the tank. Congratulations to David Wright.
only right that we could give them 45 minutes of our time, which doesn't seem enough in my eyes. But well done, gentlemen. Hopefully we managed to get enough photos of them all together. I don't know if we'll ever have a collection to tell them like this all in one place again. But please stay in touch with the club, stay connected, come down. We'd love to see you more at the club. So thank you very much. So now we'll move on to the two most prestigious playing awards, first of them being the Barrett Chesson President's Trophy, so named in the honour of our inaugural president, Barry Chesson, who was president for 18 consecutive years and is founding father of the club. Barry is a man of advanced years, but you would never pick it in talking to him. The guy is sharp as a whip. He has the Order of Australia. Just a fascinating human being to converse with. His service to the club is amazing, and it's my pleasure to welcome him to the podium to present Barry Chesson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have, as usual, just run through who was third place, second place, and the award this year. Coming in third place was the two-time winner in Brody Koelewyn. Brody had a bit of a lean year with the bat by his standards, but he made up for it this year by lifting his effectiveness with the award. On his way to topping the wicket takers list for the club with 24 wickets at 12.44. His best effort was 6 for 26 versus Morley in round 10, and was his first 11 5-wicket haul. It was also complemented by 2 catches and a fantastic direct hit out. He took out the club first 11 bowling award and the association's first grade bowling average. So a fantastic effort there from Brody at the end. Coming in second place was second 11 skipper Peter Keneally. Peter took his game to a new level. He's sort of heard a little bit about that before this season, and had a really dominant all-round season. Finishing with 322 runs at 55.8, including a maiden century of 13 not out. And he also linked with that 14 wickets at 12.9 with the best of 14. So wonderful contribution there. Peter took out the association third grade champion player, and also ensured that he took out the second 11 most valuable player by just one vote he also added seven dismissals and enjoyed 2 sitting partnerships during the season. This season's winner of the Barry Chesson President's Trophy is a first-time winner. In his first full-time season with the club. His season included 248 runs at 31.6 and had an impressive strike rate of 84, and included 4 half-centuries with a best of 76. He complemented his season with the bat with 13 wickets. His season with the bat with 13 wickets at just 16, with a best of 4 for 19, as well as a huge improvement in the field. So, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Barry Chesson President's Award for season 2021-22 is Yahya Ali. So Yahya's not with us tonight. He's working, which is a great shame. The guy's enthusiasm for the game is fantastic. He just loves to bat, loves to plunder bowling attacks. Anyone who's seen the YouTube clip of him smashing 100
call upon the Association Chairman, Brad Pearce, to present the Errol Miguel Cricketer of the Year Award. Brad.
Good evening. Wow, what a night. I get the luxury of going to many cricket club association presentations, but to walk in tonight, to have a look at the steep history of your club, documented the way it's been documented, and as I said before, I've been to many club presentations through Suburban Turf Association. It is extremely impressive and very professionally done, so congratulations to the Melville board, to Nick Gore and the Melville Murdoch University Melville Cricket Club board. Thank you for the invitation to attend tonight to celebrate your 50th year. Steeped in tradition, and no doubt with a lot of club legends, and I congratulate your legends for being nominated and awarded this evening. Before I get to the presentation, I'd like to personally thank the board members of the association, and in particular Nick Gore and Ralph Sudley, who are on the Suburban Turf board, who do a tremendous amount of work and make my job as chairman very, very easy. They're very passionate, and they've made a significant impact in the operations and administration of us running an association who, by our own admission, we've clocked over 125 years, so we're very proud of that, and we look forward to continuing to provide a really solid cricket competition for hopefully more women and men, and a range of denominations moving forward. I'd like to also thank those players, and I was nearly going to list them out, and then I started going through some of the photos down the back, and I'm thinking, I can't list some of the players because I'm going to miss some, so I won't. I know I've got the Rod Sammuts, the Yaya Arleys, the Brody Koelewyns, Jason Vowles, Angus Boltling, Jacob Johnson, Marc Watkins. That only touches on the last 10 years of players since I've been involved at that board level. And if I can do a little bit of indulgence, Brody has been our captain and is still our vice captain of our association senior representative side. 6-time title winners, 27 games, unbeaten. So we'll continue that, won't we, Brody? So I've got the pleasure, and I've always had the pleasure, of knowing Errol for the time that I've been involved in the association as a player, when he was an umpire, and as an administrator when he was still umpiring. So it's a great honour to be here. Just a little bit about Errol for perhaps some of the younger players. He's the club's founding father back in 1972 and the first centurion. Elegant left-handed batsman, sharp ground fielder. A former club president and vice president for a period of 10 years. Premiership captain of the club. Definitely a true gentleman of the game, and always ensured that his teams and himself honoured the spirit of cricket. Moving on. In third position for the Cricketer of the Year was 3-time winner and President's Trophy third place getter, Brody Koelewyn. He complemented his efforts with the ball with some great performances in the field during the season, but his fielding this season, which only we remember for dropping what was considered a sitter off Stephen Rules, what would have been his 400th wicket. Coming in second place was the President's Trophy winner, Yaya Arley. Yaya reserved his best performance for the season against Wembley Districts in round 3, hitting 56 and a 99-run opening stand, with Pat O'Brien before taking 4 for 19 with the ball to help defend an uninspiring total. He also blazed the equal-most sixes for the club this season with a healthy 14, although he did that in a single innings playing for the association in the Cricket West Cup. Just to clear this up for you, Dave, 150 of 69 balls, 7 fours, 16 sixes in 79 minutes. The winner of the Errol Cricketer of the Year Award for 2021-22, scoring 260 runs at 23.6, including a best of 69 against Swanbourne, to to go with 19 wickets for 16.6 and a best of 4 for 10. Surprisingly, he achieved his first ever 100-run partnership this season with an open partnership of 111 against high wicket in that terrible wicket out there at, what's the name of that ground? He's averaged 46 and a team score of 115 after the team was 5 for 6, followed up with 4 for 10 to help them defend this total against Wembley, who would go on to win the premiership. He's earned himself the Association Performance of the Round and the voucher. He took out the club first 11 most valuable player, the back-to-back and 3-time winner of the Errol Cricketer of the Year award for the season 21-22 was Stephen Raw.
We're going to move on to the Memorabilia Auction. Now, I don't have too much auctioneering experience outside of human trafficking, so if anybody has more experience that you'd like to participate, please let me know, otherwise it will be ruling and I. Item 1 is the club number plate, the WNCC 72 licence plate. I'm going to rely on Ruli's assistance as to what the opening bid would be. And hopefully everyone's sufficiently lubricated to make stupid bids that they can regret tomorrow. Okay, the opening bid is $550. So, do we have anyone at who wants to advance $550 for this amazing number plate that clearly is going to appreciate in value? Clearly, is going to appreciate in value. Scouring the room. Because I know someone's got a red Porsche, and blue and white number plate on a red Porsche would be fantastic. You can't see it at the moment. There we go. We're opening a bit of $6,000 with the red Porsche. Do we have 6.5, anybody? Anyone wants to advance to 650? There's one born every minute. Thanks, Dave. Good man. We didn't have to make that hot tub in '98, so you know. Alright, now we've got the Signs Life member back. With all the life member signatures on it. We have an opening bid of $300. Do we have any advance on the $300 for the life members back? We've got $350 for the court. Does anyone bid $400 for the life members back? Peter Kennelly, at 4. We're going to get all our bidding war here. We've got $450. Pen's out. He's spooked early. So we've got $450 with in court. We have an advance on $450. We've got 5 from Ryan Fairclough. Doesn't surprise me. I've always rated you, Ryan Fairclough. Always. It's handcrafted by Toby Richardson. There's a $550 back. What was he doing? got enough money to throw away at markets and scooters and spas, so he doesn't care. Alright, 600 to Graham Bone, here's it, he's sold. Well done, Brody. Right, this is a signed team of the half-century back. This is obviously a pretty special one. We'll start the bidding on this one at 300. Do we have 300 for the team of the half-century back? Yep. We have 300 for Brody Koelewyn. Do we have an advance on that at 350? 350 Adrian Baker. Do we have 400? 450 Nick Rorts. Currently at 450, we're looking for 5. There's some maintenance. 500 for Tony Richardson. I believe that's the value of the bat alone.
Guaranteed to make 700 runs next season.
So we have 550. So the bat worth $500 plus all the signatures. Or is Toby only at 5? Toby only at 5. You can get your bat back, well done. There's another one, like member back. You will own it, but it will remain on display at the club. Apparently. Is that correct, Bruno? That's correct. So you're basically donating to the club. That's what this is. So, do we have an open? Ambitious, Steve, ambitious. Oh, sorry, it's from Steve Rule, $250. Steve's paying $250 so we can show this back at the club. Anyone?
First step of the goal.
Oh, we need 300. We have that extra 300. We're getting old. Good luck. You can throw money at the club, you can take the piece as much as you want. 400. So we have an extra 450. Steve Rule, you don't want to be outdone by Steve Rule. 450 Steve Rule, we have 5. Oh, we got Graham Bone. It's really, guys, it's a shame you do not know Barrett. This guy was a legend 20 years ago at the club. Amazing. 500 to Graham Bone. We have 550. We have 6 anywhere. We have 620. We have 650. 650 Neil Bennett. We have 7.
Neil Bennett was there.
Where are you at, Tony? 650 is Neil Bennett. Well done, mate. Well done. This is the same deal. Like display, team of the half century. Steve Rule is opening at 250. So, obviously, they presume he's down the last one. So we've got 300 right back. I am concerned about you actually paying the money because I've had this before. But 300 Ryan Fairclough. We have 350. Team of the half century. Darren Wilson. We have 350. 400 Steve Rule. 500 Darren Wilson. 550 Graham Bone. 600 Steve Rule. We have 650. We have 650 Graham Bone. 700 Steve Rule. We have 750. 1,700. We have an advance on 7. Alright, 750 the bloke we probably won't pay. Has not drunk a thing tonight. 800 people, 800 people. I'm going to say right now, there's no way Ryan Fairclough could be 800. 950. He dropped his gun. It's alright, you've got to beat up. April 950. Right, Darren Wilson testimonial badge. We still need some players to sign this because we've got everything done. We have 250 for the testimonial badge. Ray Nichols, famous Brett. We've got Errol at 250. We have an advance on 250. We've got Chris Evans at 300. Anyone advancing 300 to 350? Big Board 350. No testimony, what need on that? 350. We have anyone at 400? No, it looks like Nick will only at 3. Oh, sorry. We got 400. This is your name, sir? Your name? Stephen Davis. 400. We have an advance on 400. So you want to speak to Davis under 400? Well done and thank you. If you played in the match and haven't yet signed back, please do so tonight. This is a special one. This is a special one. This is a framed circa 1994 power spot training that was owned by the club until someone decided they were going to take it for themselves. It then spent the next 25 years in Wayne Johnson's kit, accumulating 14,000 runs. It has been signed. We've managed to prize it out of his cold, dead hands. And it is very, very cheap at the moment. I think it's probably not even the cost of the frame, 250. Who's going to open the 250? 500 Jack Allen. We've got 600 Dave Pena. 700 Jack Allen. 800 Dave Pena, the most powerful, the most famous power spot in history of cricket. 800 Dave Pena. 850 Jack Allen. 850 Jack Allen. We've got 9 Dave Pena. 900 Dave Pena. Beautiful model here, 900 Dave Pena. Do you have an advance on that? Pete Canelli, 950. Or was that 1,000? Sorry. 950 Pete Canelli. We got 1,000 Dave Pena. We're at 1,000 now. There's 1,050. 1,050 Jack Allen. A Cooper. 1,200. Or does David Hingy on at 1200? This famous power slot. David Hingy, you on it? Well done. And our last one, 1998-99 second national test signed back. Currently Euro alum has it for $100. Is this two bats or one? It is two bats. Two bats for the price of one. It's at $100 signed by the English Australian team. The second national test, 98-99. Who won the game? Don't know.
Make it up!
Apparently Australia won. Odds are 300 to Angus. We have 350 anywhere. Two bats. 350 is back. Yeah, 350. Now we got 350 at the back. So you're at 400. 450. Chris Evans at 450. Five, Brody Koelewyn. We have 550 anywhere. We got 550. That's Luke Noble, who told me guaranteed to play next season. 550. Luke Noble. He'll only play 8th grade with Dave Sammut, he says. 550 Luke Noble. We have any? We have 6. 6, Brody. 650 Chris Evans. We have 7. Don't make it right, 7 or 7 to make the league. 800 Brian Fairclough, guaranteed to make. Look at yourself on a first name basis. 800 Brian Fairclough, we have 850. It belongs to, they belong to Brian Fairclough. Well done.
Did you win? But it's all relative.
Alright, that wraps up that section. We'll come back